Today I tested over 1,000 suggested card games using a standard deck to find out which ones are the best to play.
What can I play?
In my ongoing search to find a game to play no matter the situation, I found myself in a situation recently where all I had was a standard deck of cards. And I wondered, what are the most enjoyable games to play with a standard deck? And so that's what I'm going to show you in this video. And by the end of it, I'm going to show you the top 5 games to play using a standard deck of cards. Right, so I guess I'm going to need to know every single card game that's ever existed to make this list possible. And I don't know how to do that. But I did come up with an idea where I'm going to ask the BGG community about what their favorite card game is to play with a standard deck of cards, get all those results, and I'm going to start there. Right, so I just posted that on BGG. Hopefully they start to come in. So I did just that. I posted this post and within seconds, the community loved it. I was inundated with response after response. And within a day, I had more data than I knew what to do with. So I tallied them all up. 1,388 suggestions later, through mentions and likes, I got the results. Right, so I was able to compile all that data, and 1,388 suggestions later, I finally got our top 20 most recommended games by UBGG guys, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, what a list it is, because I've only played 5 out of 20 of these games, heard of a couple of others, but haven't had a chance to play them yet, so I'm excited to do that. So stick around for that, but before we do that, we're going to manipulate the data a couple more times. I've got a few more tricks up my sleeve, and we're going to do that now. Before I get to playtesting these games, I searched them all up on BGG to find out what their ratings are to give me a more robust list so I could analyze their quality, not just how highly recommended they are. So there you have it. I've now included the BGG ratings in order to make the list a little bit more robust. So I've now included quality as a measure, as well as how highly recommended the game is. And now I've got 20 games that I can go and play with my friends. And I guess I got to go do that now and score them. Yeah, let's go do that. So I caught up my friends, and over the course of multiple evenings, we tested as many as we could. We played multiple rounds until we felt comfortable with the rules of each of the games to form an opinion on them. So after every game I played, I scored them out of 10 using a very simple criteria. 1 to 2, I can't see myself playing it again. 2 to 3, I'll play if someone else wants to. 3 to 4, there's better games out there. 5 to 6, it's a decent game, but it will pass time. 7 to 8, this is a fun game that most people will like. 8 to 9, very unique, fun and replayable, could play all night. 9 to 10, better than playing any other game. So there you have it. I now have all the playtesting data in the dashboard, and the results are looking quite interesting. However, they are still skewed by the mentions, as the mentions are a percentage point, and all the data is currently a ranking out of 10. So to get them all on the same playing field, I'm going to convert them all to a ranking out of 20. So putting them into a top 20 list, and those that in the number 1 spot will get 20 points, and those all the way down in the bottom spot will get 0 points. And once I have all that converted, we'll be able to compare apples with apples, and we'll see what is consistently coming up at the top spot. So I tallied up all these placement scores to finally find out what the top 20 are, and here's the definitive top 5 that I'll be giving you a brief explanation on how to play each one of them. Number 5, Rummy. Rummy is a card game where the goal is to form sets of matching cards. You can make sets by either having a sequence of numbers in the same suit or a group of cards with the same rank. Everyone starts with a hand of cards and takes turns drawing and discarding to improve their sets. The first person to organize all their sets into valid sets declares Rummy and wins the round. It's a mix of strategy and luck, and it's a fun game to play with friends and family. Ultimately, I like this game and I scored it a 7.3. It's fun and simple, and most people could play it and enjoy it. Number 4, Hearts. Hearts is a trick-taking game that's all about avoiding certain cards like the Plague. In this case, Hearts and the Queen of Spades. Picture this, everyone starts with a hand, and the goal is to play cards strategically during each round to avoid taking those Hearts cards and that nasty queen. The player with the fewest Hearts cards at the end of the game is the big winner. It's a game of tactics, careful planning, and a bit of luck. I gave it a 7.1 out of 10. It's a very fun game, and I've got quite a bit of experience with it, playing on the Windows version like probably most of us do. But ultimately, it gets more fun the more equal the players are, It's a game that can be easily out-strategized once you know what you're doing, but if you're all on the same page, it's quite fun and quite competitive. So number 3, cribbage. So cribbage, after doing all the manipulations with the data with the rankings, actually ended up in the 3rd spot. And that's largely because of, I guess, my rating for it, which I'll get onto in a bit. Cribbage is a really unique card game. It's got a lot going for it, and I think that's also kind of why I scored it quite low. Look, you play cards to score points in various ways, like pairs, runs, and hitting 15. And there's this wooden board with pegs that keeps track of everything, but you can ultimately just use pen and paper like we did. Now, truth be told, the scoring can seem like a bunch of rules at first, but once you play a few rounds, it does click. Some folks, like myself, get a bit intimidated at first, but honestly, the variety in scoring is kind of what makes it interesting, and I can see why people highly recommend it. It's that kind of game that you can just chat and have a drink and not take too seriously, but ultimately I scored it a 5. It's a decent game, and it definitely passes the time as it can go on quite long, but for me, there's just a little bit too much math and triple checking numbers that the gameplay is a bit slow. And granted, I'm sure if I played it a bit more, it'd become second nature and be a lot more fun. But that's why I scored it a 5. Number 2, Euchre. Euchre is a fast-paced game that's for 4 players, but split into 2 teams. It's a trick-taking game, so it follows the same principles of matching suits, but I guess the fun comes in with the bidding. Look, you bid how many tricks you're going to take in each round amongst your team, and if you're successful, you score that in points. Look, you can even go solo, which is quite fun, which doesn't require your teammate at all, and allows for an even more enticing scoring opportunity. Ultimately, what I really like about this game, it's quite competitive, but you get to celebrate your wins with someone else. And it's very quick and portable. I remember playing this game while waiting in line at school with friends, just holding the cards in our hands with no table. This is why I ultimately gave it a 7.1. It's really fun, competitive, and has quite a few layers to it, and passes the time really nicely. Number 1, Regicide. Regicide is a relatively new game according to BGG, only being released in 2020. I was shocked to see it even get recommended, but after experiencing it, I can see why. It is a cooperative card game. This alone sets the game apart from the rest. The aim of the game is to defeat all the face cards. Each face card has health and attack stats. For example, a jack has 20 health and 10 attack. You do damage to them by playing a card from your hand. For example, 7 will do 7 damage, reducing that jack down to 13. After every turn, the face card now attacks you for their attack value, which has you discarding the value of their attack. For example, a jack attacks me for 10. I now have to throw away the value of 10, so I throw away the value of a 7 or 4 to fulfill being attacked. If at any point, any player being attacked is unable to satisfy being attacked, we all lose. The challenge comes in the form of communication. You are unable to tell each other any specifics about your hands or intentions. This truly has you all playing individually but together in hopes to defeat all 12 face cards. And with each rank of face cards, the stats get higher, with the kings being 40 health and 20 attack, so it only gets harder as you play. What keeps the game fresh and interesting is how the suits work, with each suit having different abilities. From clubs doubling damage, diamonds drawing more cards, spades reducing their attack stat, and hearts replenishing the deck from the discard pile, this game is a constant struggle of strategy and a little bit of luck. There are many more layers to the rules, but I would highly recommend playing this either solo or up to 4 players. Also, I recommend to definitely use the companion app to just keep the math way more simple. I scored this an 8.8. We absolutely love this game and we want to keep playing it. It's super unique and has so much fun little rules that just adds a lot of value to it. So there you have it. A game about killing kings has fought its way from 7th spot using just recommendations to take the crown in the end. And it's a game that I am so glad that I found, because it's going to be a game that me and my friends play for years to come. If you want to see the full top 20 list, go to my website in the link below and you'll be able to see the dashboard and to play with it at your own leisure. If you found this video useful, please consider subscribing, as I'll continue to discover games and present them in data-driven ways. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, keep on playing. So, Rob, there's one more game that I want to show you. Okay, are you ready?
It's only a 2-player game.
It's only a 2-player game.
I'll sit down. I'll just watch.
Alright, so I'll be the dueler, and then you'll be the...
You'll play first.
You'll play first.
Alright, I'm ready.
You ready? 52 pickup.
Split my head open. I didn't think
Come on.
I didn't think I was in the splash zone. Jesus.